Isabella Valancy Crawford was a prolific writer born in Dublin, Ireland in 1846. She was the sixth and last surviving daughter of Dr. Stephen Crawford and Sidney Scott. In 1857, her family emigrated to Canada, and Dr. Crawford started to practice medicine in Paisley. In a few years, disease took 9 of the 12 children. Dr. Crawford served as the treasurer of Paisley Township, but a financial scandal caused the family to leave Paisley in 1861, struggling to make ends meet. Dr. Crawford met Richard Strickland of Lakefield, who invited the family to live at his home. While staying there, the Crawfords became acquainted with Strickland's sisters, the writers Susanna Moodie and Catherine Parr Traill. Around that time, Isabella Crawford began writing too. In 1869, the family moved to Peterborough. Isabella wrote and published poems in Toronto newspapers and stories in American magazines. Her first published poem, A Vesper Star, appeared in the Toronto Mail in 1873. Isabella's father died in 1875, and Isabella and her mother moved to Toronto. Many of her novels and novellas were published in Toronto and New York. She also contributed verses and articles to several newspapers. In 1884, Crawford published her one and only book, Old Spooks' Pass and Malcolm Cady and Other Poems. Journals in London had given it impressive and promising reviews, pointing to her versatility and qualities like humor, vivacity, and range. Crawford paid for the private printing of 1,000 copies, but only 50 books were sold. Crawford persevered, and in 1886, she became the first local writer to have a novel. Crawford died on the 12th of February, 1887, in Toronto at the age of 41. W.D. Lighthall included generous sections from her book in his anthology, Songs of the Great Dominion, bringing it to a wider audience. However, it is during the 20th century that critics gave her work increasing respect and appreciation. In 1905, Crawford's collected poems was edited by J.W. Garvin. Poet Catherine Hale published a volume on Isabella Valancy Crawford in the Makers of Canada series in 1920. In the mid-1940s, a sincere critical assessment by A.J.M. Smith, Northrop Frye, and E.K. Brown called her the only Canadian woman poet of great importance in the 19th century. Poet James Rainey recognized her mythopoeic power in his lecture on Crawford. A renewed interest in Crawford led to the publication of forgotten manuscripts and critical articles in the 1970s. And there was a reprint of the collected poems in 1972 with an introduction by James Rainey. Crawford wrote a wide variety of poems ranging from the eerie mysticism of the Camp of Souls or the eroticism of the Lily Bed. But it is mainly Crawford's long narrative poems that received particular attention. Isabella's poems depict the world as a battleground of opposites, light and dark, good and evil, all reconciled by sacrificial love.